Good evening and welcome to the Indie Bandits Twitch stream and YouTube channel. My name is Jimmy and I'm here with Joe.
All right, Jimmy.
I am.
Well,
it has been many a moon.
it's been what I think is technically classified as donks.
Yeah.
Is that still thing?
It's the
Are
technical
kids still
term.
saying that? Yeah, it's been a donks. It's November's been a chaotic mess
It
for
has.
Conquering Europe. Conquering Europe has been put on hiatus whilst Indie Bandits runs on a sort of skeleton staff for a bit.
Yeah. Told the rest of the European nations just to have a month's worth of peace.
It's the least they've attacked us in,
It has.
in any amount of time. Yeah. So that's good to be back. So I was saying in the chat before we got on this dealio, it was kind of like I was proper excited. I was just like, I also have some S tier level stories to tell you. I mean,
Oh, man.
we need a musical like bumper for my excellent Friday night stream stories.
I'm assuming there have been multiple big shops.
You've missed the big shops. Yeah, the big shops have been done, and you know that they're old news now. They wouldn't be the fascinating stories they would be if they were fresh off the press. But forget the big shop. Move over, big shop. Bought some slippers.
Oh, wow.
That's the story. See, I feel like
Now,
if this was
slippers,
surrounded
Joe,
by a bumper on either side, you know, if we had some like cool like jingle for like Joe's proper class stories, and then I just told that story and then played the bumper again, I think we'd have 30 seconds of excellent content.
I need to understand if these are slippers without a heel or slippers with a heel.
They're without a heel, and I'm regretting that. Yeah, I'm regretting it. I'm not a slip.
A schoolboy error right there.
I am a slipper novice. As I've never. I think these are the first slippers I've ever owned in my life. I am very particular when it comes to footwear, to the point where I have never worn flip flops or sandals. Like, just never. Whichever the ones are that go between your toes, hate the idea of them.
Yeah, they're
I
uncomfortable.
don't think I've ever even put them on. Whatever those are, those like poolside things. And I'm not Jesus, so I've never worn the other sides of types of sandals. But slippers, I was like, saw some cozy looking slippers, impulse buy, picked them up. And they're good. They're good. But yeah, no heel on them, so I'm adjusting to walking around with my toes curled, which is weird. Just, you know, to like hold them on doesn't make any sense.
No, it's you need to upgrade, pal.
I need some big fluffy bear slippers or something. I think at uni you had some of those, didn't you?
Oh, I mean, they're obviously that's elite tier, fluffy bear slippers. But you know, at the very least, you need the ones that have like heel on them, so you can walk around without them falling off every 5 seconds.
They're a good fit, right? So they don't fall off a lot. For the fact that they're slippers, they don't actually slip that much. They've got like memory foam in them, and they're quite like, I don't think they're sheepskin, but they look like they're made of sheepskin. They look like if Ugg boots made slippers, but they are a bit well, they're heel. They're, as I said, they're heelless.
Goddamn
They
heelless
don't
slippers.
They don't mechanically provide any means to stay on, and that is a problem. But it has taught me that I am pro slippers, so it has opened a lot of doors for
Slippers.
house footwear. Oh yeah. I mean, I still prefer slipper socks. I think they are, you know, just fluffy socks with like rubber soles on them. Or what, you know, the little like, you know, like cat's paws. They've got the like little rubbery bits on the bottom, so you don't slip around whilst wearing them. Those are the real I am. That's what you want. I do have a pair of them that are my well, I call them my race socks because I wear them to play on the steering wheel. To what? To dog?
To jog.
Oh, I thought you said dog.
You said they were
like
your race
dogging.
slippers. So I was being silly.
Yeah.
Oh man, I think these guys are gonna revolt. Just be happy with being invaded. My God, what is wrong with these people?
I know. Was that not the letter the entire British Empire sent out to every colony?
Yeah, we're coming, so you better just deal with it, all right?
Quite topical though, because didn't we technically lose another in like the last month? Didn't Barbados become a republic?
I cannot remember.
Because Rihanna is like now, I was gonna say king, whatever Rihanna wants to be, because she's from Barbados, and
Yeah.
she was at that like kind of ceremony, their Independence Day ceremony. So they've gone
Rogue.
I mean, yeah, I was gonna say I didn't want to say rogue because it sounded so, I guess, colonial. It's been like, you know, at least a century beyond the point of where you kind of like, no, colonialism isn't. I mean, it was never cool, but it's like at a point where you're like, right, everyone knows we need to cut this shit out. But yeah, they didn't gain independence. I think they just said, like, we're independent now. Deal with it.
And everyone's like,
and we didn't.
Yeah, all
so
right.
The Queen was like, I'm too old for this shit. Just 30th of November. Fuck, it wasn't even a month ago. It was last Tuesday. I love the idea of like everyone in Barbados is like, when's Independence Day again? Last Tuesday? Oh yeah, I remember that. But, yeah, they sorted out. Good for them. I'm very happy to see them gain independence.
Have a bit of independence. Go on.
But I'm not happy about the people in this game gaining independence. That's a whole heap of shit.
It's just annoying, isn't it?
They just
be subjugated and be happy with it.
Be subjugated and be happy with it. And those who aren't, be happy with the fact that we're about to invade you. And those that were not invaded, hold off from invading us for just one goddamn second so we can get on with the game.
Man.
The thing is, this is turn-based as well, right? Like in the overall map screen, this whole game is turn-based.
Yeah.
But it just seems that every single civilization in this game has decided to use their turn to invade us.
Yeah, it definitely feels like that. It feels like they're not happy unless they're fighting us. And then, of course, like, I'm at war with them, I can't attack them.
Not license. It does reek of, like, we kind of deserve it, though. Like, anyone listening to, like, two English people complain about how annoying it is getting invaded all the time might think we don't see the irony in it, but do not forget that the British Isles, until about, if this was Civ, it would be very late game, but it was only very late game where the British Isles actually started going out and conquering places instead of being invaded by them. We definitely spent like 400 of the 500 turns we had just being invaded and conquered. That is our history. Like, we got our fair share of colonialism thrust upon us. It wasn't that England in particular, Britain and England, have been the bad guys throughout history. We've been conquered by people as well. Everyone has. Like, it's
everybody's
almost like
had to go over here.
To clarify, I think it should be clear that within Europe, because outside of Europe and intercontinentally speaking, we probably can't really make a claim that everyone's had a fair go at colonialism. But within Europe,
no, I meant everyone's had a go at England.
Everyone within Europe's had a go of conquering us, and we've had a go of having a war with them as well. That's just how Europe's worked for like
hundreds of years.
Probably about 3,000 years, I think would be fair to say. But like intercontinentally, there was definitely like a sort of unfairness thrust upon the other continents who really had nothing to do with what had been going on in England for in England and Europe for thousands of years who were like, who the fuck are these guys? And they're like, oh, we're here now. Hello. I know you don't know our part of the globe exists, and we didn't know until about last week that yours did, but we're taking it over. This is how we do things in Europe. You don't know where Europe is or what it does, but this is how it works. People just take stuff that's not there. Who are we fighting, by the way? We're in Vilnius again.
Have a guess who we're fighting.
Oh, that's the Danes, isn't it?
It is.
I recogniise that flag.
Always the Danes. Just always the Danes. Just
man, if we, I feel like that kind of needs to be a thing that like if we had a merch shop, we'd sell T-shirts with that on it. It's like one side would be just like guess who, and the other side would be like it's the Danes. It's always the Danes.
It's the Danes again.
Oh, we could have key rings with medieval York on them, just in case you go out and forget to lock the door.
Smash him. Oh yeah. No, stop smashing him. Get out, man. Use the maneuver I'm giving you just to move.
Maybe it's been a while, but do they look different? Or are they just like rendering in different ways? Because like long distance horses look different. Like they look like they have like fewer animation frames and stuff. Has that always been the case?
I think it's always been the case at long distances.
I just haven't noticed. Yeah, because you can see them when you zoomed out. They obviously I understand technically why that is, but this is like I feel this is the first time I'm actually noticing it. Which, like, I guess 25 streams into it, you'd think would be. Who knows?
Get out here, mate.
Also not too far from the very end of this campaign, are we? I mean, like,
nope.
We are.
And I don't think we're going to do it, unfortunately. But
no, I don't. Yeah, that's been it's been much of a much spoken about unachievable goal for us. The actual goal we set out to do like 26 streams ago. But it's now just like damage limitation, isn't it? It's just to see how like how well this campaign can go.
How many nations can we subjugate?
Eradicate from medieval Europe. It's very what's it called? The sunk cost fallacy. We've put too much effort into this campaign now, so even though it's clearly a lost cause, we're gonna stick with it and just fail.
Yes.
But we're gonna fail in the best possible way we can. By coming oh so close to the actual goal.
Get the archers.
If we remain true and steadfast, victory will be ours.
Look at them, guys. Oh, the old school pathfinding.
Does need some. I was gonna say it needs some work. I think it's been worked on since then.
Yeah, they figured it out. Well, yeah, no, I mean to compare it to this would be it's much better than this, obviously, but it's just the problem with AI when you got this many little things on screen. Really, it's never going to be amazing.
No, but I think computing power has increased greatly since then, and I think computers don't have that many problems with like pathfinding for multiple units or objects now.
Enemy force remains.
Get him. I think we've got it.
The battle is very much in our
I mean, the
favor.
magic
If we remain
Dr.
true and
Mario pill that
steadfast,
tells you
victory will be ours.
who's winning thinks we are, and we are.
We are, and we have.
I mean, they're like routing now, aren't they? Is flashing white routing?
Yeah. I'm gonna recharge these guys, and then they'll route as well.
All right, we'll just take that sound bite out of context. I mean, look, I love spending my Friday nights recharging guys until they route as much as you, Jimmy. It's like pure filth. Love it. You do you, mounted knights. Oh.
Right, who's still not running away? These guys are back for a bit
Who
more.
still hasn't been recharged yet?
Who's resisted the recharge? Go get him.
The enemy army flees the field. Pursue. This is a clear victory.
Very comprehensive, that in, wasn't it?
Yes. Right, now I'm gonna go get Antwerp back.
Glory, honor, victory.
Oh yeah.
Hail my king.
Let's go get Antwerp back.
We had a few decent armies on the way down to northern Italy as well, didn't we? If I recall correctly from last time out.
In siege, noble sire.
It was like
We shall prevail in this
a
siege,
month
sire.
ago, maybe? It's been a
Yes,
month since we did this.
we have Bologna.
Bologna, I think it's pronounced. Makes sense.
What's costing me so much army upkeep, right? Who's not pulling their weight?
To battle it is then, sire. We have marched our limit today, sire. Hail my king. I'm afraid not, my liege. As you command, my liege. We shall prevail in this siege, sire. Orders.
You go away, you go away. Pointless having you. Right, that's fine. Take that.
Hail my king.
Alright. Oh, France as well. My god, it never ends. I've never played a campaign like this on this game.
The enemy has surrounded us. We besiege. The enemy lays siege.
We're not
sire.
getting
We must
the rub of the
prevail.
green like, are we? We're
I just feel like every turn we get attacked by somebody, and it's always someone new. It's like I think we've been at war with Denmark, the Holy Roman Empire, France, Portugal, and Spain for pretty much the entire game, and not one of them seems to want to attack
remotely
the other.
bothered.
Like they're
Yeah,
just
about
attacking
any-
us. Like it's just, and then the Pope stops me from fighting them too much. He's like, "All right, you've given them enough of a kicking now. Can you please stop?" And I'm like, "No, I want to give them a kicking until they disappear." What? Right, you know what it is? I think because we're getting towards the end, I'm just going to be excommunicated. This is ridiculous.
Hail my king.
We just,
As you will, my king.
we just
To
tell
battle.
them all exactly where they can go now.
They can all get... Right, what have we got to... Oh, just him? Is it even worth... You know what, I'm going to do it because the AI will just, like, screw this up
Honor
somehow.
and glory await England, men. Attack.
Let's just get going. Let's get right up there. Where's the gate?
I enjoy how much when you like select units in like any strategy game, they have a sound cue.
Yeah.
You know, and how when you're selecting a lot of them, especially in older games where I guess they didn't like. I think in newer games they don't always trigger the sound cue if you're clicking a lot of them at once. Like I think they've put code in to like stop that, but in older games, the sound cue triggers for every single unit you click on, right?
Yeah.
Like old Command and Conquer did this tons as well, but doesn't it just all sound like
on the move?
Yeah.
Hooah, on the move.
Mission, sir. Doesn't it all sound like the bloody seagulls out of Finding Nemo who are like, mine,
Yes.
mission, sir.
Mission, sir.
The Red Alert 2, I think we've said this on stream before, but I want to say it again, has like hands down like best audio. Without a trace.
He was so angry, that guy.
How was it? Desolate already.
Yeah. Oh man.
Actually, brilliant.
He was good.
I mean, I loved how hammy that like entire game is.
So good though.
All the cues are good. Year of reporting.
Airship ready.
Like, I mean, obviously, they've probably done the same kind of crack on as this. I mean, no, it wasn't a similar time, was it? It was like Red Alert 2 must have been like 4 or 5 years before this, right?
It was the best of times. It was the worst of times, Joe.
Well, this is Medieval 2 is 2006, right? So
I think so, yeah.
I think Red Alert 2 must have been early, like.
Are now in place.
Oh, 2000, Jesus. Yeah, alright. So, yeah, Red Alert 2 predates this by like over half a decade, but...
Oh, they fucking seriously sodding off right into the middle. Those dickheads. Oh, get the ladders, man, you bell ends.
They forgot about the whole ladder thing.
I thought they wouldn't sod off to the middle, but they have. They've just run away. Right, now we'll get through this gate. Oh, we got the gate, did we? What a surprise. Let's go up to this gate now.
Like, Red Alert 2 went much like this game. Clearly got whoever just worked there to be all like, Dave, are you free this afternoon? Yeah? How are your Russian and Iraqi accents? Do you want to get in the audio booth and do you want to and pseudo James Bond? Good at, you've done that at the work Christmas party, haven't you? You've done your sort of Sean Connery impression, which is so bad that legally we could get away with you doing it. Right, get in there and record about 500 lines of just random words with no context that we can use in almost any situation. That's all they need, don't they? They just need like they only need like 3 voice cues, like one when you select them, one when you tell them to move somewhere, and one when you tell them to attack somewhere. Like that's it.
Yeah.
Maybe a 4th if they have like a special ability.
Possibly, but yeah, maybe
you get them
not.
to record variants on that, and you technically only need like 8 voice clips. Yeah, I mean, it once you've got them like garrisoning in buildings and stuff like that, then you might need like a couple more, you know. But it's like in something like Red Alert 2, I can imagine there's only a handful of them. Because I remember you could get like Windows themes based around those games where like all your mouse clicks and like start up and shut down noises were like sound bites from those games. I think my computer for about 10 years had the Command & Conquer Tiberian Sun Windows theme on it. That would be like, when you turn on your computer, it'd be like, establishing battlefield control.
I bet you loved it every single time.
I still wish I could. The only reason I don't have it anymore is because like Windows changed and those old like Windows 98 themes that replaces all the sound packs. I mean, it's probably even more easily done now. But because it isn't on a cool website full of GIFs or the official like Westwood website, I don't want to do it anymore. Because if it's not like the full shebang of a Windows theme, then I'm just some sad act who changed all the audio cues on their computer to Command Conquer Tiberian Sun sounds. Though I know what I'll be spending tomorrow doing. In that one, you could have like GDI and Nod ones as well, which would have the background and like the different computers. So if you'd gone with Nod, you'd have like the more evil sounding computer. Cabal, I think his name was.
Yes.
Cabal? Big
Cabal,
Blue
yeah.
Heed.
Yeah.
Like bloody Blue Man Group or whatever. Aye, but you could have all of that. It was class. Oh, and the mouse cursor would change as well to look like the one from within the game.
They were some
like,
solid games.
Oh, so good. They've like not remastered, just re-released. I don't think there was much like remastering done to them. I think they like visually they remained very much the same, but they just made them so that like I guess like the UI fitted better over like an HD resolution. Because obviously if you just resed them up to like 1080p now, all the buttons would be like tiny and unreadable. Because they're all, all the buttons are like 8 pixels by 8 pixels or whatever. But yeah, there is the original Command Conquer, not Tiberian Sun and the later ones. I forget what it's called. I mean, it's called Command Conquer, but the like actual new dealy, the like new release is it's called the Command Conquer Remastered Collection. There you go.
Remastered.
Remastered.
What's the remastered collection?
This is a clear victory.
New masks.
To only men of great virtue and valor.
New masks as
Thank you very much.
Downloadable loot box NFTs, and you can earn C&C coin as you play. So if you're willing to put in 800 hours a month into this game, you can come away with 5 pence.
Sounds like a deal with me.
My understanding is that's what a lot of this probably is. There's no way in hell that games companies that usually charge us like 60 quid for a game are ever going to pay players that much to be playing the game when they already know that players will pay tons of money to them to play the games.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's no way that any of this like NFT blockchain play to earn system is of any benefit to the actual players, unless the gaming industry has had just a massive change of heart and is like, I think it's about time that after years and years of extracting every penny we could from players, that we start paying them. Not a chance.
No.
Though, look, if they have had a change of heart and were visited by like the ghosts of gaming past, present, and future, then I'll eat those words. But I just don't see it. Not from businesses whose sole purpose is to make money. Would it make sense for them to stop paying their customers? At least not in the quantities that doesn't result in more earnings for them in the long term.
Are you saying that they're not being quite on the level with all of this NFT stuff, Joe?
I think they are being on the level, but they might be perhaps just over enthusiastic of the benefits and value of what they're giving players. Especially when they're claiming stuff in game has monetary value. Because if that was the case, then every player would be suddenly like a millionaire.
Yeah.
And though I am expecting this to turn around and be like a thing where we start seeing like the odd player who happens to be like earning mad dollar out of all of this.
Dollar bills, y'all.
They will be like highlighted and shown off, in the same way that like Ponzi schemes do. Where like when you're getting shown stories of like the Avon lady who suddenly is like making tons of money. And it's like, yeah, but she's the only one. The only way she makes tons of money is by having like 10 people under her, who each have 10 people under them, who have 10 people under them, who have 10 people under them, and then eventually you go so many layers, you'd need the entire world to be participating for it to work.
Yeah.
Our men have reached the walls with their ladders.
Which, yeah, you can't do that with any kind of thing that requires exponential growth to work. And if there are already people making loads of money off it, you're too late.
That's like the thing about investments. I forgot what they said. It's like if once you hear the
Don't.
no, it's not that sort of thing. It's just investments in general. It's like once you start hearing the barber talking about it or something, is like you've missed out. You know, at that point it's too late.
Yeah, by that point, any investment you make will just be lining the pockets of anyone else who's already invested.
The Lord is with us today. We've captured the enemy's walls.
Yeah, it's a bit sad. Starting to see a lot of it now, and like, I love the like idea of the blockchain. It's it's very very clever technology and almost very sensible, but there's too many like this. I don't even want to call it like too good to be trueness in a lot of the narrative around it, with anything where people are acting like it's really easy and you'll make loads of money from it. I'm like, if it was really easy and you make loads of money from it, well then everyone would be doing it and we'd all have loads of money.
Yeah.
The battle is very much in our favor. If we remain true and steadfast, victory will be ours.
I want to say hello in the chat, but I can't even begin to pronounce all those consonants, and I don't really want to butcher it.
Good tidings. The enemy general lies dead. We've sent the base.
I also don't know what Chad England means, unless he's Chad from England, but
if we remain true and steadfast,
in that case,
victory will be ours.
Fewer consonants.
Yes, we're going to need some help with the pronunciation of that.
My guess would be Polish,
Half the
but
enemy force remains.
my Polish is non-existent, so. Or it's just Polish-esque username. Or it's like a really cleverly written joke that's going right over both of our heads. You know what I mean? Like, it could be some way like, oh shit, that's a really clever username that I have no idea about. Referencing something I don't know.
This is a clear victory that goes to only men of great virtue.
Smashed them dudes though, didn't we?
Smashed them. Finally got Antwerp back.
Now we can enjoy some nice Belgian beers.
Yeah.
Did I tell you about my advent calendar? I did, probably, but I'm going to tell you again. It's just amazing. Just buy 24 beers. That's it. That's the one advice. Oh, we need that. We so need that bumper for my epic stories, though, don't we?
Yes.
So with loads of sound, it's just like, it's time for another one of Joe's epic stories. Buy 24 beers. That's it.
And then just Joe's epic stories.
Joe's epic story.
Immediately.
Do you remember that Simpsons where Rainier Wolfcastle does that like Seinfeld version of his movie? And he's like, that's it. That was the joke. And he pulls it. He's like, the whole movie is just me in front of that brick wall for 3 hours. Alright, but just buy 24 beers and just open a different one each day. I mean, they have to be 24 different beers, otherwise you've just bought yourself a crate.
Just buy yourself a crate of beer.
I mean, you can, but I like to buy 24 different beers and then just have one each day. Chosen at random, often by Google's dubious random number generator.
As you wish, sire.
Which I don't know. It just doesn't feel that random when I use it, but you know. It works. It can choose one beer out of 24. Just ask it to choose a number between 1 and however many beers I have left, and then just count along. It's much easier and quicker than singing the Eeny, Meeny, Miny, Mo song.
Eeny, meeny, meeny, miny, meeny, mo.
Mm-hmm.
Eeny, meeny, miny, mo.
Yeah. Almost like every like country or nation has like their own version of like the Eeny, Meeny, Miny, Mo thing.
Right.
And pretty funny when I used to teach English, like every time you'd like try and pick a student for an activity and you would do like Eeny, Meeny, Miny, Mo, like people would lose their shit because they'd be like, that's fucking mental, what are you doing? And then they'd tell you their version of it and then you'd be like, arguably that's just as mental. It's always just like something random that rhymes in most cases, but everyone has their own version of it, and hearing that like there are other versions of it blows people's minds because you know people hate things being done in ways they're not used to. It's just like it's a really weird human trait, which is arguably the root of most of humanity's problems, that people just hate seeing things being done in a way that they don't expect. So Joe's epics. I might get on the blow at a secret bandit Dom and get him to put together a stupid. We need a soundboard jingle.
Oh, great! Russia's now declared war on us, Joe, because
I saw their loading screen
obviously
rock up. Yeah, I saw them like when it was going through the turns.
Did nothing to Russia all game, but they're just like, you know what? Everyone else is doing it.
It's cool. It's all
Why
cool
not?
to do. They've literally just met us and were like, don't like you.
Oh, you know what? Right, this bloody Riga's getting on my nerves. I might just attack this guy and just leave. He's can have Riga again, guys. Just come back and smash it. Taken one, lost another, but I'll go back and take it again. Oh no, we need to wait. Okay.
I think that upon research, I might be wrong, but I think that guy was just trying to insult England. I've looked up Chad, but maybe not.
Is it a Polish thing?
No, well, I mean, hating the English, I think it's a most people thing, but no, it's well, this is going off Urban Dictionary, but it is being a Chad is not a good thing. So I can only imagine that Chad England was something offensive to the English.
Oh.
Which is I mean, this feels like again like that same episode of The Simpsons where the film critic insults Rainier Wolfcastle. He's like, "Hey, your shoes untied," and then he bends over and it's like night falls and he's still looking at his shoes. He's like, "On closer inspection, these are loafers." And, it's like, no, you shut up. Like 5 minutes later when you work out what the guy in the chat meant. Oh, he's called Chad. Oh, he's called Chad England, but I think it was potentially an attempt on ripping on us for being English.
Well, that seems harsh.
Harsh and warranted, but harsh and potentially deserved. But yeah, we didn't invade all those countries. We were just born in the one that did.
Our chances of victory with it.
Oh, no,
which is the one kind of thing I get about being English. Like, hate what
If we continue like this, we will
what they did, but remember that most people weren't in any way, shape, or form involved in any of that. We're just born in that country. Like for every country, remember, like with Americans, like in the early noughties, it was kind of like a lot of them went around the world being like, we're not our foreign policy. We're just people from that country. Please don't hate us for traveling to your country. Learn to separate us from the politics of our country. That mind, my ex-lass, who was a Yank, she did say that when they went on school trips to Europe. I mean, good for them, I guess. I only went on school trips to Holy Island, and that was like 45 minutes up the road. But anyway, when they went to Paris and Madrid on a school trip, again, Marlish Farm, but whatever.
Marlish Farm was absolutely like immense.
Marlish Farm is dope, I admit, but it would have been cool to go on a school trip that, like involved a transatlantic flight and a trip to a continent that is arguably better than yours. But anyway, yeah, she was told that they had to go around France pretending they were Canadian. Just if anyone asked, they were to tell the French that they were Canadian. And this is obviously around the time of George W. and that, and France not joining them in the Iraq War and all that kind of crack on, where Franco-American relations were at freedom fries level, I guess. But like, where is the country we can pretend to be when we travel and people want to hate us? I mean, we could go with Irish, but people know and like them too much, so that and our accents aren't similar enough. No, it's never ended me up in too much flack. But as I said, we were going on school trips to like the Northumberland coast. So there would be, it probably happens in some places where you go up the Northumberland coast and they're like, we don't like people from Newcastle around here. Not you, city dwelling folk or whatever. But it's not quite the same as the popularity of Americans in France circa mid-noughties.
Train. Ooh, pardon me. Right, what am I gonna do? If I can take the Russian stuff now, I'm allowed to attack the Russians, I guess.
Because they declared war on us. The dicks.
There will be much honor in defeating
Great. Here's the thing. Where have they been all game?
Sire, as you wish, sire. Yes,
like
sire.
The Russians? Like, I feel
they've just been hiding, waiting for us to get close enough so that they could declare war, Joe.
Declare war on us.
Like, no one has eliminated any other factions. This never happens usually by
because they've wasted all their efforts and resources on attacking us to no avail.
It's usually a point in the game where you just start seeing them dropping like flies. Like, there's all these factions that have just gone.
Especially since the ones that are winning are probably gaining momentum and becoming stronger as a result.
Yeah, exactly.
Where are we at the minute? I mean, we're fighting
We
the
are-
Egyptians, right? But we're in the
yeah,
Holy
we're-
Land, right?
We
We're
are,
close.
yeah. I'm about to try and
Because the music is like absolute fire. I love it. It's just a funky neck moving kind of jam.
The battle is very much in our favor. If we remain true and steadfast, victory will be ours.
Oh, they've attacked the wrong person. Nice. Oh, you were running. I just said continue running. You have to stop to figure out the new running.
Our men have slain the Saracen general. Now we must send his men running back to the desert.
Tell you what, I was thinking we could do, which I've been a proponent for a while. I mean, you know how much I want to play Train Simulator on stream, right?
Yeah.
That's it. Only half the
All right.
force remains.
No, I think, like, honestly, just games like that. I also own a European Ship Simulator, I believe, as well, which
Of course.
I don't think would come with as much of the like eye candy you'd get from Train Simulator as you like blast through, you know, London. But you know, European Ship Simulator, thinking of potentially having a stream where there is like nothing going on in the game and we're just chatting shit to each other. I think it's a goer. It's like the just chatting streams, but we just have the game on in the background that like requires minimal input, and just go with that. Because I kind of like the format, but I don't want to buy headphones with little cat ears and get me cleavage out or anything like that. I just wanted to, you know, I still want the game to be front row center, but I like the kind of hanging out, chatting shit format. The test cricket approach, I think we've dubbed it in private before. But I really think that would be something like a go if we could find like a series of just like really low input games, inconsequential, ideally good looking games though. You know, like if you could get like,
Oh my god, I'm there.
are we gonna win the game?
We're not going to win the game, but I've managed to actually get through some. I just threw some guys towards it as like a Hail Mary type of thing. I'm actually done it.
Everyone, literally. Hey. See what we did there with the Jeebas and that. But yeah, I think because like look, there's a lot of streams where it's just people hanging out and chatting, like you know, like ours, whilst you conquer medieval Europe. But I do think there would be like, I feel it would be because I've seen a lot of people like, you know, like playing games like Truck Simulator and stuff like that, like these, you know, these long, like sort of longish session games that are quite like not therapeutic, but you know, like one of these games, not where you get into a flow state, but I don't know what you'd kind of call it. Like they're almost meditative.
Yeah.
Only the enemies of my people.
I know what you mean.
Really think it might be something like worth exploring in the new year, like, or potentially after this campaign, because I don't know what we do after this campaign, because I don't think we do another, because we just get attacked all the time. But
yeah, no, we're gonna move on to a new game after this is done.
Yeah, but I'm like, but what? That's because, you know, I've accepted, like I'm in the correct stages of grief for this campaign, and the potential of not coming out as winners. But I think we do need to start thinking about what this sort of like Friday night time slot gets replaced with. But I do want to drink beers and hang out on stream. It needs to be games that can maintain that, and so I don't want anything like high input or, you know, like I wouldn't want a regular Friday night Overcooked, because as fun as that game is, well, one, I wouldn't get to drink as much beer, and two, we wouldn't get to chat and hang out as much because we'd just be shouting the names of ingredients at each other. Just shouting ingredients at each other. I think that's how Overcooked ends up, doesn't it? It's just you just like carrots, lettuce.
Where's me mushrooms?
Yeah, need mushrooms. Need mushrooms. It's on fire. Yeah, like we. I think we need to find something that's like zen and chill, or like, or like this with like a long form campaign that we can work along, but again, something like really low. But this is why I'm still like shilling for Train Simulator, because I'm like, you can just 1, trains, 2, trains, and 3, it would just be a train just rolling through, just like, you know, rolling through the English countryside, and it would be like, we're on that train just drinking beer and chatting to each other. It'd be
what
like,
was that game we played where you were building the train line?
Oh, that was cool. Oh, shit, why can I not remember? I want to say it's not Railroad Tycoon, but it was a tycoon game. I know what you mean. Yeah.
That was good.
I'm gonna look it up. Why can't I? Yeah, it was had something about rail in the name. Like, I think like the word rail was in the name of it. I am drawing a blank. Sure, it was called something Age of something as well. Like rail something's Age of Rail. I mean, you know, title TBA, I guess.
Yeah, no, that sounded exactly like what the title of it would be.
Maybe, oh man, if I find out what this is called, and it was called like Rail Age of Rail. God, that was. I'll find it. You're talking about the like dev one, right? The like the one where you're a railway developer.
I think so. You and Archie were on the stream.
Not Unrailed though. That was the cooperative one. That was like Overcooked, where the little trains took.
No, not that one. The one where you were like, it was like a
Railway Empire is what it was called. Sorry, that was it. Yeah.
Yeah, that was good.
I like sim and management games. You've spoken fondly of Surviving Mars as well.
Yeah, I
like that as well. That's a really good one. I do enjoy
it. Soundtrack, that one.
Yeah, I like those kind of games. I've been playing a lot of like my happy place in terms of like chill ass sim games and stuff like that is Motorsport Manager, which is like, well, like all like manager games, it's just a lot of like looking at numbers and managing like finance and shit like that, but for a motorsport team. And then you have the races, but obviously, like with Football Manager, all races boil down to like, they're mostly out of your control, other than like, you know, you have a few things you can do, but you're not doing the actual like second to second driving of any of the cars. Which is always something like, you know, probably years ago when you told people that you'd made like a Football Manager game and said, yeah, but you don't actually play the football, you just give the instructions to the players. A lot of people will be like, well, what's the point? It's like, well, you're the manager, and there's like something very engaging about, you know, you make the decisions, but there's a lot of random numbers going on under the hood that'll that'll decide whether or not your strategy actually works. You know, like with Football Manager, if if your team's shit, it doesn't matter what you tell them to do. It doesn't mean they'll win. But there's there can be something very, very engaging about like preparation. So like I can just sit on like Motorsport Manager just for ages. Like it's just where you like one of these games where you like your brain can almost turn off, but it's very engaged with what you're playing, without like the actual like minute to minute gameplay being like
The enemy are battering down the gates.
important. Like if you don't click anything, nothing happens. There's very few like live action moments in this game, much like Football Manager and other management sims. But like not management sims, I guess, because they're not technically management sims, because a lot of management games have like real-time elements, time flows in these games, whereas like these are like Football Manager, you have to click next to progress the day, so it's like, I guess, turn-based management, if you classify it as this. But yeah,
the enemy's ram is through our
and
gates.
like stuff like that. An indie version of that would be like great, because I think for stream, like you either have to be playing something that's like
The attackers. Give them steel.
full on, right, where you're like the game is doing all the talking, right, where there's a lot of action on screen and everything like that, or you've got to be playing something where you have the freedom to like chat shit. I've been watching videos of a guy playing City Skylines, which remember we played on stream as well.
Oh yes, yeah.
But he's just like doing daft shit with mods. But it's entertaining and engaging, and it's like funny seeing what you can do in like the emergent gameplay of it, and then like narrative comes through it. You made a tower of poo basically. It tickled me. Just using sewage from a city to like make a big tower of sewage water that would then power the city through hydroelectric power. It's in a way it's dumb as shit, but in another way it's fun to see like games being used like Lego sets. I mean, this was with mods, and I like mods, but I also don't like the like sandbox modes in games. I like rules and constraints when I play. I don't just like using the tools to do whatever I want with it. Like for me, rules and constraints are like part of the game. I don't like to use cheats or anything like that.
Yeah.
I have no issues with anyone using them if it's like a single player game like that, and you just want like play the Sims and use the money cheat, or like stop your Sims from aging or anything like that. If it like improves your enjoyment of the game and doesn't hinder anyone else's enjoyment of it, then go for it. But I get more enjoyment out of a game with rules and constraints than I do on one where it just gives you all the like mechanics of the game and says, yeah, you can do this, but like you're playing GTA, but your guy can now just jump and fly or whatever. It's like, nah, not for me. But still, like the game like that, like City Skylines and all these like sim games and management games, oh, they're very engaging to watch. I'd love to find like a load of those to play on stream.
Yeah, I don't mind them. Depends on the like. I guess it's not like a genre. I'd be like, oh yes, I'm definitely gonna play that. It has to maybe be quite a specific version of it. Like surviving Mars works quite well.
Yeah, that's more in the real time domain as well, though, isn't it? It's like surviving Mars is like SimCity on Mars, isn't it? Really, it's with a bit, I guess, a bit more difficult though. But it has a very similar feel to that and SimCity, City Skylines, and a bit of not quite like survival games, though. I do like survival games. I like resource management. That's my like I don't know, gaming kink. I like having different numbers of things to manage, and then
managing them.
and just having to like spin all those plates. It's a kind of gameplay loop I enjoy. And that was the same with Before We Leave. Remember that one? A while back as well. Played that. That was the one that was like looked like Populous. Remember Populous? The beginning.
Populous, the beginning.
Yeah, and you were on the little like planet, and you had to tell the little dudes to go like cut down wood and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like that's really had like a phase of like absolutely after we played that on stream, absolutely chained that, like chucked in like loads of hours to it. Then it hit a very became very problematic, that game, because you just end up with, there are so many different types of resources, and then the resources become other resources. Like you use the raw resources to make products and stuff, and then that's another resource you have to manage. It became too much. I was like, oh, I don't even know what I'm managing, and you kind of just expand exponentially out across your little like solar system. So then instead of having like a village where you've got to work out like wood, rock, and it's very like Catan or whatever, you end up like across several planets where you're like managing trade routes, and it's like
they have lost half their men.
You're trying to manage everything on a macro level, but the game still requires you to get very granular with resource management. And if one part of the supply chain breaks down, it just cascades into this whole kind of like none of it works anymore. Because one of your like 30 villages on one of the planets you're not even looking at anymore is like ran out of wood, but the wood needed to go here to make like energy, which needed to go here to make this and that, and then it's all broken. It's like, it's not fun anymore when you just end up like troubleshooting what's gone wrong. I remember surviving Mars had a bit of that as well. You know, when you'd be like, what is causing this thing to break, and then you end up just doing QA on your like settlement.
Right. Yeah.
Do you remember, like, you'd be a point and be like, so why have I got no power? Or why is this going like this? And then you have to go work out like one of your little things that's like meant to be driving around collecting like X resource is being like randomly hit by an asteroid that you didn't know about.
Yeah.
And you'd be like, oh, this has been like this for ages, and it's like,
by St. George, our men have slain the enemy general.
The game should more clearly telegraph that, like, how, you know, because you obviously get the same tooltip, but the game doesn't understand how important that thing is becoming the whole like supply chain. So it'll give you the same tooltip for that being hit by an asteroid as any other of your little like collectors, and then you're like, oh, I didn't know that one was like, that's important. I need to get someone else on that. But it also, the game didn't let you like individually manage a lot of things either, did it? It was just like allocating stuff to resources and changing priorities and hoping that like the game would work out that's what you wanted them to do with it.
I think as well sometimes late game, like games like that can suffer from it just becoming a series of like repetitive tasks, you know? Like in the early start of the game, there's loads to to have to get up to that point. Once you get to a certain point, it's like, okay, I'm pretty much just like
there's
clicking.
a lot of fine tuning, isn't there?
Yeah.
That's it. You're just like trying to slowly min-max everything, and there's some games that do that really well. And like City Skylines was good at that. Like in the later game, I'm quite happy to just sit and look at my city, because that's one of those games where it will just tick over and then you'll change something, and then you've got to wait for it all to balance out, because at some points you'll change something, it'll have like a rapidly drastic effect, but it will start to like balance out. But in games like Surviving Mars and Before We Leave, both of those games have one of those like you touch something and it breaks. It doesn't like balance out. It doesn't like work like, I guess, like the economy sort of does when something changes and there's like a bounce back and kind of stuff, like, you know, everything's quite elastic.
Behold how our
But in those games, it's like, no, it's just broke.
Victory.
It's like it's like putting a coin in a gearbox. Do you know what I mean? It just breaks everything. Like, oh,
Yeah.
so yes, like one of the few games that didn't suffer that was City Skylines. But again, that's like at that point, then you're not in this like repetitive loop. You're more in a just a like don't touch it loop, or like finishing up a painting, if that makes any sense, where you're like, oh, I'll just add a little splash of that here, and then you take a step back and go, no, it was actually better before, and then you make a minor change, like, yeah, I think that's better. I'm gonna have to say, then you don't know if it's working or not, but it's like, it's not gonna wreck everything in a matter of seconds, usually. You know, if you've got enough of a, like, economic margin in one of these games, like, if you're earning enough money, you know, on a monthly basis in City Skylines, you can make a minor change to see if you can improve your city, knowing you like it'll cost you a little bit more that month. But yeah, there were times in like Surviving Mars where I was playing, I'm like, I need to build one of those. I'll build one of those. Right, why is everything broken? Can someone remind me like what is happening and why did this just immediately break everything? And yeah, a lot of those games are like way more exciting at the start than at the end.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how you'd fix that. Like
It's a tricky one. It's like, how do you keep someone engaged by it? Yeah, like that many hours into it when things have either become too easy for them, or there's not a lot left to research, so it's very, or like to do, so it's very kind of just going from one phase to the next.
It's also because there isn't like there's a loop, but there isn't a loop. Whereas like, you know, what I like about like Motorsport Manager and like in like a game like Football Manager is you actually have like seasons. So you have this like natural smaller loop within like the bigger loop where you'll have these like long-term goals for, you know, your team. But at least at the start of every season you get to have like another go at it. Whereas like there's not a moment in Surviving Mars where it just goes, this is the end of the year, everything suddenly restarts now for some reason. You know, like certain roguelites and roguelikes are built on the, like, you know, losing all your progress. Now, you don't lose all your progress in like these sport management sims, but the idea that like the league table starts again, but you get to keep your team, whereas Surviving Mars doesn't have that. You just keep all your stuff and it just keeps going just forever. And by the time you're towards the end, you're like, yeah, I don't get to start a new season here. This is just, it just keeps going. Which naturally like makes it less engaging. There aren't short-term goals to pursue. I think that might be one of the issues with it becoming repetitive, because you don't get, you know, at the start of the game you have, like you said, you have a lot of little things to be doing and a lot of little goals to reward you. Whereas as you progress, you're just trying to keep the whole thing ticking over and not break it, like a house of cards. Do you know what I mean? It's not like, well done, you finished your house of cards, now you get to keep all these cards and build something different with them. It's like, no, just keep adding to it and keep trying to get enjoyment out of it.
Yeah, it's just trying.
It's a funny one.
It is, yeah. It's a difficult one to solve, I think.
I mean, then there's people who obviously love that kind of stuff. Like, I like the tweaking of City Skylines, but I'm one of these people who are like, I really didn't mind that SimCity game that everyone hated, the one that was just called SimCity, and most people complained about it being on like a very small map. Like the maximum size for a city was very limited.
Right.
And I really loved that because very quickly in the game you'd run out of land. So you weren't just expanding outwards endlessly. You just ran out of land and you just had to use the space you had better. which allowed you to just start doing all this tweaking and stuff like that. And I really like to play it in that way. But obviously everyone else was like, oh, well, now I'm just limited.
Yeah.
So for some people, they were like, oh, well, I'd like, you know, once my city gets this side, my city's doing well. But instead of just trying to optimize the city, I wanted to expand outwards and sort of just go on forever. Like, why can't I just do that? If my city's successful, why can't it just keep getting bigger and bigger? You know, which punishes players who want to do that. Whereas, like, Surviving Mars has that as well. Like, you can just... There's a very big map, but you know there'll be players online where you just, you know... You'd probably watch them playing and just be like, this is so complex, it makes me want to cry. Like, I have no idea how they're doing it. You know, like, when you watch these, like, videos online of people who have just, like... She has the biggest ever like colony on Surviving Mars, and you look at it, you're like, I don't even know what's going on here. Like, what is happening? How is it all working? How are they all on like plus 9,999 of every single resource? How have they made this utopia? How are like asteroid showers just battered away like nothing's a problem? It's you know, they like, it's impressive, but for most players, I don't think the game works like that.
Oh, this one's going to be
Holy
tricky.
Romans?
Yeah. They've got
can they not just get battered?
Oh, fucking hell. They're just smashing everything. Right, just... Everybody run away. Oh dear.
Our men are winning the battle. If we continue like this, we will smash the enemy. The enemy are bringing in reinforcements.
Oh. The fudge. Okay. Oh my, there's a lot to sort out here.
You can't flank them because they're getting bombarded by artillery, right? I mean,
yeah, because there's only one way to over the river, and it's a narrow.
It's a bit of land.
Yeah, a little bit over the water, which is making it very hard. But if I can beat these guys on this side.
Good tidings.
Yes.
The enemy general lies dead. We've sent the base cur to hell.
I just need to hold these off on this side and get over the river. Right, good.
The enemy have brought up more men. They hope to make up in numbers what they lack in gallantry.
Oh my, this is ridiculous. Get over the river.
How can you tell if you can get over the river? I mean, obviously they walk over it, but I mean, like, is
it's just that it's pretty obvious. Like, there's the little narrow bit that you just know is going to be the connecting bit.
Can you see it though when you zoomed in closer, like that this bit is traversable, or like the bits either side of it? What shows you that it's traversable?
No, you can see when you zoom in a little bit. Hang on.
All right. Yeah, I just
oh my
I
god,
wasn't able
there's
to see
more
that.
over here. Get 'em, boys.
Where's this taking place? I mean, Central Europe, I'm guessing, right?
Yeah. God, they just need to be hemmed in as well, so I can get over the river, basically.
Is that is there an objective on the other side, or is it just?
No, it's just that's where I'm getting absolutely annihilated by all this artillery because no one is running over the river. So apparently, artillery in medieval Europe was like super accurate. Oh, come on! They've actually managed to hit me general in the face with a bit of artillery. That's ridiculous. Oh well, I've lost the guy who was running through Europe. Can you just get over there, man? What are you stopping for? Do you like getting shot?
Our men are winning the battle. If we continue like this, we will smash the enemy. The enemy are badly bloodied. They have lost half their men.
They are lacking haste, aren't they?
They're just deciding to sort of waltz over the river while getting absolutely obliterated by huge flaming projectiles. Like,
pursue and run them down.
Okay, now I'm over that side. Now I can just defend that side. But it looks like I'm doing alright over here as well, actually. They must have run away by now.
Once they got over, it looked like there was quite a lot of them, actually.
Oh, there's a lot of them.
No, of us. Like,
oh yeah, no, we had about 2,000 men, but they had about 4,500. Annihilation. I cannot believe that projectile hit the bloody character.
What happens now at the end of the battle if you don't have a general? Does the army still exist?
The army exists, yeah, but they're not led by anybody, so it's annoying.
Mechanically, what does that do to them though?
You just don't get the benefits of the general. Also, armies without generals can be prone to
routing more.
Just changing. I guess affiliations, so you can.
They can be swayed.
They can, yeah. Of course, I feel like they're just going to set up on the other side and just
funny in the time that you like wade over. They just chuck some like ballistic weapons onto the side, and we're just like, yeah, now we're over here.
I mean, I guess
I could general, he'd take a ballistic to the Fies.
I'll just pull everybody back. So they have to.
Is there no one back on that side, or?
There is. I've got some guys defending on that side to slow them down. They're my noble sacrifice. They've actually done such a good job. They've actually managed to kill that entire second army. But there's a third one coming, and it's very big, so they're gonna die. Unless, can they all make a break for it? See if he can manage it. Go for a run.
You just get them all over the other side of the river and just hope that they live.
there's no point in having them on this side. They'll just...
That's why they're getting killed. Force them to bottleneck through the...
They attacked me, so the AI will want to finish me, so I'm going to go way over the other side. And force them over.
You have stuff that can shoot at them as they're crossing, right? Because they're slower crossing through water, right? You would assume, right?
Oh, I've got stuff.
Like, they plod through the river, yeah?
Yeah, they don't go as quickly.
So that gives you more time to shoot at them with, like, arrows and stuff. Mostly arrows, not so much stuff.
There we go. And they're already running away because they've just been shot. Oh my god, are you kidding me? How big is the range on those things?
That's a real...
If you
have to send someone over to deal with them, right?
No, I'm just going to keep pulling back, and they're going to have to eventually try and traverse that water with it. And when they do, they'll...
You're just going to stay out of range of them. You're like...
Yeah.
It's the medieval equivalent of floating like a butterfly and stinging like a bee.
Yeah. Come get me, I'm over here.
You basically want to be getting them whilst they're in the water, right? Can they fire from the water?
Now I'm going to try and come back.
Does the game recognize a difference between the water in terms of being able to shoot, or, you know, for like the siege weapons? Surely siege weapons can't be used in water. Oh, this is the bit where they get like proper got if everyone can get into position in time.
Where's skirmish mode? There you go. Get into skirmish mode. No, not skirmish mode. Skirmish formation.
I like skirmish mode. It's my favorite
mode. Our men
mode.
are winning the battle. If we continue like this,
right.
we will. Our men have captured the enemy general. Guard him well and make it so he can see us defeat the rest of his army.
They can get down there.
You can just... I'm just a cheeky lie down, so they can fire the shit from the river, which makes no sense.
Yeah, but there's lots of them in the middle there, so hopefully I can shoot them. They'll only be able to kill a few of my guys, I think. So as long as well, actually, there's no point. I may as well just chuck the general in because he's already dead.
Yeah, that's just the general's unit, right? The actual general character's deed. Right?
Yeah.
So the unit bears his likeness, but isn't actually him.
No.
The battle is very much in our favor. If we remain true and steadfast, victory will be ours.
I honestly thought more of them would have got there, but seems like they're making their way quite quickly through the river.
Oh yeah, but they're gonna get shot to pieces. Oh no, that's gonna land right. Actually, not too bad. All right.
By the way, what's the little prisoner dude in the bottom right of the screen for? I feel it's the first
How
time
many
noticing.
prisoners have been captured in this battle?
Is that when routed? Ransomable prisoners.
Yeah. Oh.
Good tidings. The enemy general lies dead. We've sent the base cur to hell.
This is an absolute massacre of a battle. Shoot them as they run back across.
Only half the enemy force remains.
Actually, I'll tell you what. Get over there. The music's very, very epic right now.
They are like 360 no scoping you with those siege weapons. Like,
I know, it is ridiculous. I never bother building them in the game. I don't know why. I never ever do. And maybe I should just build entire armies of them because it can just annihilate units from miles away. It's not
just
really
one
how
guy
it works.
and one guy with a toothpick is like boop on the other side.
Chase him down. Stop getting stuck on the actual machines.
The enemy army flees the field.
Oh, I'm gonna have to kill these guys as much as I can. Not have an LS coming back.
You're just mowing them all down now.
Yeah, gotta be
So
done.
that prisoner number should go up loads, right? Because if you kill them whilst they're routing, it just goes captured, 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 right?
Yep. Wow. It's an absolute massacre, yeah. It's like one big battle gone on over this bit, one bit over there, one bit by down this side of the river, then one bit on the other side of the river. It's biggest one we've had, I think.
At least they're socially distancing in there, getting mauled.
Oh, what? That's what the hell of what? That was an almighty scrap. Alright, I'll just let it, I'll let them all flee now. Gonna have a look at these fancy pants on there.
The fanciest of pants.
They have like pantaloons, these guys.
You gotta love a good pantaloon though, don't you? It's just like, I think the pantaloon needs to make a comeback. I'll say that and then I'll find out that it's been like all over the catwalk for the last year. Because why wouldn't
Aren't you wearing pantaloons, Joe? I'm wearing mine right now.
I never wear anything below the waist on stream, James. You should know that by now.
Oh.
I mean, it's an absolute noob move to wear anything, any kind of clothing when playing Total War.
Well, Christopher Peckham might have died, but he went down in a blaze of glory.
Taken down 3 different Holy Roman Empire armies.
Yeah.
Enkel, Edmund, and Athelwulf. Good for them.
He went out in a bad way, though, didn't he? Flaming projectile to the face.
Flaming projectile to the face, yeah. Something that's just a big heap of shit on fire.
Yeah. Oh, you want a ceasefire? Look at this.
Have they ever paid a ransom out of interest?
It's happened a couple of times, yeah.
It just seems like they don't. They're
Look
not.
at these guys. I love how my reputation is despicable. All I've ever done is defend myself.
We haven't declared war on anyone.
Yeah, like,
right?
I'm just sat defending myself, and I'm classified as despicable. Yeah, I'm not going to give you that money. No, but let's have a ceasefire anyway.
Think you would accept in my position.
What if we have a ceasefire and trade some map information and some trade rights?
Then we could make money and not kill each other. It would be fun.
Oh my god! Now these guys want a ceasefire as well. Denmark.
They're changing their tune a lot. I wonder what's.
Because I'm absolutely destroying them all now. Like, oh shit.
At war for 189 turns, Denmark. Just let that sink in for a bit.
It's ridiculous, man.
there's only been 204 turns. We had
No.
11 turns of peace with the Danes, and after that they were like, nah, I don't like the cut of their jib after these 10 turns where they've done out. Time to declare war.
Oh, everyone's asking me for lots of money. Just sod off.
Hungary, we haven't done out with them, have we?
Ah, we're just pally with Hungary. They're alright.
Hungary's
They've,
just
they've
not
been nice.
interested in any of our shit.
Hungary's just
Hail
being
my king.
canny.
By your
Oh my
will,
god,
sire,
what do they have?
we
Are you
shall
serious? Am
engage.
I gonna have to actually fight this battle? Look at this, they've got 2 units. How is it possible you could even come close to losing this? Ugh. Right, okay, I'll do this one quick.
Go chin them. Just chin them at 6 times speed. Just click on them all. Just select all the units and select half, click on one unit, and select the other half of our army and click on the second unit.
What I'm gonna do is I'm
Pro
gonna put
gamer tip for you there.
all of me archers are gonna shoot them constantly. Where are you? There you are. Alright, everyone get over here. All of yous come running all the way up the middle. And you guys come over here as well.
They're just chilling in that field. Just like, didn't they start this as well?
Yeah.
But these guys are going to get chinned so fast. Like, do any of them have like ranged attacks?
No.
Oh, this is beautiful to watch. Just
The annoying thing
watching
is they
all
have a
these-
lot of armor, so it's going to take quite a bit to get through it all, but...
Yeah, I get that, but it's just nice watching all the like archers just fire relentlessly as these like 2 units are just like getting battered. This is just them sustaining damage, right?
Yeah.
Horses would be good at this point, wouldn't they? They just charge them and shit.
I've got me general. I'm going to come around do the old hammer and anvil situation.
Classic.
But not before going around the side and shooting these guys in the back.
Do more damage from the back mechanically, or is it just?
I think to the ones with shields, yes, but I'm not sure if it makes much of a difference. But, you know, they're at
With
point blank
armor.
range, so they're not going to miss any.
Well, we'll see about that. Auto resolve also got us as well.
It's quite a nice field,
So-
isn't it? A couple of windmills, some farms. Quite like this one.
Oh yeah, yeah. You'd say the Netherlands, but there are like far too many hills, and by that I mean one. There are like, honestly, no hills in that country. I'm not even joking. Like, being in the Netherlands, I've not seen any like. There's no difference in elevation. Like the elevation change just seems like non-existent. The only elevation change in that entire country is being put in by them, so that they can build like irrigation systems.
Behold how
Oh,
our
and there we
cowardly
go.
foe runs. It's time to press the attack.
Alright, now go kill them all.
Can they harm you in any way, shape, or form once you've said to continue the battle, or is that literally
No,
like
that's it.
just a game of chasey? at
How many
this point?
prisoners do you want?
Yeah,
I want all of them.
I think that's fair. I think they've earned that through their contempt.
Alright, I think that's it. Oh no, hang on. My mistake. There's two guys running away over here. Right. Tell you what, let's get the archers over there.
I love that those guys are maybe slightly quicker than the dudes trying to chase them. So
They shouldn't be, because they're wearing full plate armor, and my guys have got like maybe some like, is it gambeson? I think it's called. Padded armor, basically.
mattress toppers. I mean, I am the first person to shill a mattress topper. I think they're genius. I think they're a very cost-effective way to have a comfy bed. I mean, a good mattress is obviously the foundation of any comfortable bed. But
buy a decent mattress.
But in terms of how much a mattress topper costs versus a mattress, and how much more comfortable a mattress topper will make a not very good mattress, it's a pretty cost-effective way, and can be used in medieval times as armor. Not something you can do with a full mattress.
When you go for your what's it called when people get into the parks and just start like twatting each other with foam weapons and stuff?
I think you're talking about LARPing, right? Or
yeah, I think so.
LARP, live action roleplay.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
I love the idea of it was just called go to the park and twatting each other with foam weapons.
Is that not what they're doing?
And it is what they're doing.
Are you serious? This guy's look at this little hero. Get him.
But it's very much like when people. I know you were being dismissive, you were being descriptive, but it's like when people describe like football as just like 22 people running around after a ball. It's like, well, yeah, everything sounds stupid if you're just going to make like a really curt comment about what it involves. It's like, look at these people, they're just thrashing their limbs in water so they don't drown. What, you mean swimming? Yeah. It's like, oh, now they're doing it in time to music. It's like, yeah, it's like shit only has as much value as we want to put into it. Don't worry about it. But yeah,
I just executed them. I didn't actually mean to do that.
that live action role playing just got real.
Oops.
It just took the foam off, and it turns out it's a fucking samurai sword.
Orders.
I'd like D&D, which I really enjoy. I feel like LARPing, I could get the same kind of enjoyment out of it, but it has so much of a more kind of like, and I don't care that much about what people think of me in my hobbies, but there's just something about like, I don't know if I have the level of confidence to do LARP.
No.
Like, no, I feel like if I went in the park and like dressed up and then was like shouting almost like D&D-esque stuff at a bunch of other people in the park, I'd feel like a right tit. Like, I'd probably, it would be too much for me to get over. Like, the feeling of like, I don't usually care what people think, but I'm also not a very like, you know, like public person. Like, I wouldn't, you know, and it seems like if you could go like 300 miles into the woods and there'd only be other LARPers there, then I'd be all for it. But I couldn't join a group of LARPers who are like doing it in like public places.
Would it be for fear of someone that you know walking through the park on the same day, Joe?
No, it would be for fear of someone I don't know kicking my ass. Like, I feel if I feel I was out LARPing, I'd want to do it with people who are fucking hard as nails, and maybe this is just down to my upbringing, but you do that kind of shit in the park and you get chinned. If we were growing up and we were fucking doing that in the park, no, actually, if we were growing up and doing that in the park, it'd be fine. If we were doing that in the park now, in our mid-30s, we'd get chinned. Like, that's how it would go. It's not right, and it shouldn't be the case, but, like, that is what would happen. Like, in most of the parks I've ever been to, in the northeast of England, if I rocked up, dressed, is a fucking mage and try to do some LARPing, some Rajis would kick my ass. That's just a fact. Unless you made the toughest LARPing group ever. Like, if you could convert everyone who's part of like a high level boot camp, they don't get any shit. The boot campers in the park, the people who are can do 3-hour planks and shit like that, who are all shredded and are chucking sandbags in the park and doing all is it HIIT? Is it just called HIIT training?
Oh, right.
Whatever.
Yeah.
High intensity interval training. The people doing that aren't getting chinned by Rajis in the park. I bet you the LARPers are, though. If you could get the hit people to be doing the LARPing, then they wouldn't get chinned. Because if you've got just a bunch of jacked folk being ice spell, Rajis wouldn't be oh, that's stupid, that I'm gonna cheat, and then they'd tear their fake armor off and they're all absolutely ripped. It wouldn't happen.
Right, I think I'm gonna have to pause it here, Joe, because we've got another big battle coming, and we've been on for how long have we been on?
Been going best part of 2 hours.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to call it here. I'm not gonna have to jump in and fight Lancelot here. Cracking
Lancelot
name,
can
but
get stuck. Lancelot Sarasan.
Yeah.
It is an amazing name.
He's gonna have to get whooped
that
next
name
time.
wouldn't stop him getting chinned in the park if he was LARPing.
No, it wouldn't.
Which is
So
sad.
yeah, we managed to take. I can't show you because I'm in the middle of a battle screen, but I think we got Frankfurt.
You can see in the bottom left. Look in the bottom left map. You can see the little areas we've got.
Oh yeah, Antwerp, Frankfurt. We took Vilnius, but we lost Riga, but we'll go back and take it. And we got Jerusalem, so I think we got 4.
We got 4 and lost 1, so net 3.
So. Net 3, but we're very, very quickly running out of turns, so I
Was
just
it
want to.
250 turns?
It might be. I think I'm just gonna have to change it from winning the game to just smashing the Holy Roman Empire or something. I've got to eliminate somebody from the game. I can't do France now because there's too many. They've got too many settlements. We've only just started fighting them. So yeah, it's gonna have to be Denmark or the Holy Roman Empire, I think.
I think it's gonna have to be. Yeah, hang on. It's I don't know what length of a campaign you did, because that's apparently what it.
I did the big one.
Yeah, and we're on what, turn 205?
Yeah.
Oh, we got 20 turns left, man. I think so. I know.
Right, so 20 turns left to destroy one faction.
Hang on.
It can be done.
I think it's that. How many turns are there in Medieval Total War 2? Right? Medieval 2 Total War. That question's phrased wrong. 225 turns.
All right,
So,
yeah, 20 turns, yeah. Okay, right, we'll have to try and destroy Denmark or the Holy Roman Empire in 20 turns. I'm just looking at the map here. Every faction is still in this game. The Moors are still in it. The Byzantines are still in it. Sicily's in it.
Tau. Tyranids are still
Papal states are in it. France is in it. Denmark's still in it. Russia, Holy Roman Empire, Hungary, Poland, all of them. They, at some point in every time I've played through this game, they start fighting with each other and some of them start dropping out. Portugal are still in it. Spain are still in it. This is ridiculous. Everyone's still in. 205 turns into the game. I reckon
the entire Spanish Empire might be located on the Welsh coast right now, but it's hard to tell because
they keep sending them over and then dying in their hundreds and then going back and getting more guys to come over because they're obsessed in taking Wales for some reason. But anyway, the men of Wales have been stout defenders.
Yeah, turned those rebels around into the anti-Spanish faction, I guess. Good.
Cool.
Yeah,
right.
We've got.
We can jump on this again next week to maybe get through.
Yeah.
We probably won't finish it. Maybe it'll take 2 more streams of this to finish it, I think. And then
which means we'll probably get another one done before the end of the year, and maybe we finish this in the new year, and
then we'll have a think about what we're going to do for the next set of streams.
Yeah, I mean, we'll be going through our like year in review. That's not the name of it. Just our general kind of sit down. Where do the indie bandits go from here for 2022? Though we have some big plans and some interesting stuff, I think. But yeah, we'll be back probably next week, I imagine, and then finish this off in the new year.
Sounds good. Let's do it.
Well, we'll start 22 right by losing a campaign that we spent ages on.
But it'll be.
We've been on for a while. This has been.
It's
been a lost cause for a long old time.
But there's a moral victory to be had by still being alive at the end and maybe taking out one faction. Because we could have quite easily been destroyed. We'd attacked by virtually every bordering nation in this game for about 200 turns.
Yeah.
But anyway.
And we've learned a lot, and we've made friends along the way, and all that kind of crack on.
Not with Europe, but yes.
No,
Hungary. Sorry, I forget about Hungary. Hungary have been pals for a while now.
Hungary's our pals. Yeah.
Right, well, thanks for joining us, and I guess we'll see you next week.
That we will.
Cheers. Ta-ra.